This is Dolany TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion, talk, rumors, trade news on the channel, whatever you want to call tonight's episode. I'm glad to have you along to discuss the biggest storyline coming into Edmonton Oilers camp that is now, for some reason, somehow, some way, faded away into the distant background as we try to analyze what's going to happen at Edmonton Oilers main camp here in the last 7 days as we get ready for the Edmonton Oilers home opener on October 12th. With that, folks, before we get into tonight's video, what I want to ask you, just simply put, is to take the next 5 to 10 minutes to consider subscribing to Dolany TV. We are 33 subscribers, and I say we because it's you and me all together in this, because end of the day, I can't do this without you. 33 subscribers away from hitting 9,000. That is end all be all. The goal before we get to the regular season is I'm not entering the NHL 2022-2023 season without a new record number in front of the number of subscribers on Dolany TV. So that said, take the next 5, 10, consider it out, and let's get on with that big storyline entering Edmonton Oilers camp this year. Simply put, everybody was talking that there is going to be a big trade before the end of camp because there needs to be a big trade to free up cap space. And where do we find that big trade? It's either Foegele, it's either Barrie, or it's Puljujarvi. And for some reason, somehow, someway, those guys are still here at Edmonton Oilers main camp. Heck, Puljujarvi's out there fishing with the boys, Evander Kane and Matthias Janmark. That's your biggest news on social media this afternoon. They're out sturgeon fishing, having a good time, preparing to face the Vancouver Canucks on the back half of the home and home series in this preseason for the Edmonton Oilers. Secondary to that, you've got Warren Foegele taking up that penalty kill time all this preseason. He's played a lot of minutes in this preseason, and guess what? He's looked very good doing it for a guy that we would have discounted as the easiest guy to lose out of any of them when it comes to his role on the Edmonton Oilers projected coming into camp. Secondary to that, Tyson Barrie, another guy that, well, necessarily would have been an easy guy to lose, but for one reason or another is earning his spot. A, whether it be he's looking good, still doing Tyson Barrie things. B, he's looking better under Dave Manson. C, you lost Vinny Desharnais before camp got underway, so unfortunately you couldn't test out what you have in the big hulking, I believe 6'6" right shot defenseman on the Oilers blue line in Vinny Desharnais, and he's not a young man either. He's 27, I believe. And secondary to that too, you have Jason Demers at camp, who never really super emerged as a guy who's gonna take a roster spot, might get a deal, whether it be an AHL or two-way NHL deal, but he's not a guy who's emerged as a guy who's gonna steal a roster spot as of yet. There's still time, however. As it stands, Tyson Barrie has done way more than enough to stay with the Edmonton Oilers following this preseason, and going into October 12th. We are, as of tomorrow, tonight is October 4th, as of tomorrow, we are a week away from the Edmonton Oilers home opener on Scotiabank Wednesday Night Hockey on Rogers Sportsnet. So to think about that is absolutely insane. But you think about this, right? Coming into camp, this was all anyone wanted to talk about. Trust me, as an Edmonton Oilers YouTuber who knows as much of the sphere as I do, as somebody who watches what every other YouTuber posts about the Oilers, it was trade Foegele, trade Barrie, trade Puljujarvi. What's the update with Puljujarvi? What do the Oilers do with Barrie's cap hit? Can they get rid of Foegele some way, somehow? Is there even a return to be had for Mr. Warren Foegele, right? It was 1,000,001 questions about these three guys. It was imminent that a big trade was coming to free up cap space. It was guaranteed that Puljujarvi was on his way out. All that was all the noise before camp. And then all of a sudden, the Oilers signed Jake Virtanen into a PTO, and it was game on for the storylines at camp. Why? Well, you can't forget that a guy like Hollywood Dylan Holloway exists too. He shows up to that rookie camp. He is the star. He is what everybody wants to talk about. Philip Broberg, who? And all of a sudden, Dylan Holloway is just shining. Everything that I've done for Dylan Holloway this preseason, it's all been Dylan Holloway. Any game he's played, as long as there's been something of substance to take away for the Edmonton Oilers, has been due to Dylan Holloway. It's all been Dylan Holloway, and that's incredible. I look at all my game reviews so far this year. Dylan Holloway, Dylan Holloway, Dylan Holloway, 4-0 loss to the Calgary Flames, right? Is like there's a whole bunch of Dylan Holloway all in everything we've done this preseason, and we could talk all night about Dylan Holloway, but I wanted to talk today about how that big trade, that Barrie, Foegele, Puljujarvi trade that was supposed to happen this preseason has suddenly faded away into the background. That's the crazy part here, folks, right? This is no longer a matter of if, no longer a matter of when, no matter of it will. I don't think it's happening. This is my favorite part about hockey. You simply cannot script what is going to happen next, because if you do, you're wasting your time. Hockey will always blow your mind, and for that, my friends, that is why hockey is my favorite subject. And simply put, it continues to be, because it will never be predictable. The Oilers, quite simply, I've said everything fine and dandy here in the first few minutes of this video, but the Oilers simply, by the time I upload this video, could release the fact that they've traded one of these three guys, and everything I've just said in this video could all be for naught because of the unpredictability of the NHL and hockey in general. But tonight, it's one of those nice nights where you're asking yourself, man, there's not a lot of Oilers news. I should do a second video just simply because I did something from the car. I want to show off what the new camera is capable of, right? The camera you guys have heard about on the live stream, using it right now, showing off what it's kind of capable of. But at the same rate too, it's just one of those things for the Edmonton Oilers is anything could change at any minute. But that big storyline that the trade was, that big trade's going to happen, has faded completely into the background. We're still waiting on what's going to happen with the two PTO players. We're looking at Stuart Skinner shining in the preseason. Jack Campbell looks good. Connor McDavid's flying out there. Leon Draisaitl's fully healthy. Darnell Nurse is fully healthy. And all of a sudden, just over the past week, you can kind of watch, and I would love to see the Google trends on it, is just everything kind of decline on Tyson Barrie, Warren Foegele, and Jesse Puljujarvi. Just it kind of, there's still the people that are very anti-Puljujarvi. There's still the people that are very anti-Barrie. There's still the people that are very anti-Foegele. But that majority of people that are voicing those trade opinions has really gone quiet over the past little bit. And that's really the interesting part in all of this, is just to see how that's kind of evolved over the course of training camp. The Oilers really doing a good job creating the narrative they want to tell, telling the narrative they want to tell, and really enforcing the narrative they are driving this season. And it's phenomenal as an Oilers fan to be watching happen. Anyway, folks, I'm Tyson. This is Stolany TV. If you're new to the channel and you considered subscribing, you now know hockey is my favorite subject. And with that, folks, I will bid you adieu tonight. Have a great rest of your Tuesday evening. We are, as we wake up tomorrow morning, 1 week away from official game day to start the 2022-2023 season. I hope you've considered subscribing over the past 5-10 minutes. I am up on out of here.